Una is a delivery driver, but an unusual one, as the company she works at can deliver anything or anyone, anywhere. They are highly demanded by all kinds of illegal customers, usually people who want to escape the country. And since she's so good at her job, her boss assigns her only to impossible missions. One day, she had a mission to deliver two clients to the port to escape the country. They underestimated her because she's a woman, so to teach them a lesson, she distracted the police and took them on a thrilling tough chase. They almost died from shock, but luckily they arrived in one piece. Then she got paid by her boss and went home to rest. But she couldn't rest enough because she had a new mission. A former baseball player and his son needed to escape the country immediately. And that's because the player had been involved in an illegal gambling website. So he and his son are now in danger, and Una must drive them to port safely. Since it was a hard mission, Una made a deal with her boss to get 50% of the money, and he agreed. Then she went to the player, but unfortunately, there was a corrupt police officer who was searching for the same player at the same time. And he turned out to be the mastermind behind the illegal gambling website. So the cop would not rest until he gets the money. And as a cop, he didn't even care that he might get caught, since he was acting like he was just chasing the player. Anyway, Una went to the place where they were supposed to meet, and waited for the player and his son. But the cop got to him first. So the player told his son to run as fast as possible and find Una, and wait with her until he deals with those men, and then he will follow him right after. So the kid ran quickly, while the player went out to the cop and his men. They threatened him to give them the security key that would give them access to the bank account containing $30 million, or they would kill him. But the player didn't give in, and told them that he swallowed it already. So they beat him up until the cop figured out that the key was with the kid, and they went after him. But luckily, the kid got to Una. She was a bit hesitant whether to take him or not, because he came without his father, but she finally decided to take him. The cop's men tried to stop her, but they couldn't, and she ran away. Of course, the cop didn't leave them alone and chased them down fiercely. At that moment, the player showed up with a baseball bat, trying to stop them. But he didn't really think it through, because instead of waving to Una and getting in the car with them, he used the bat and attacked the cop's car. Because of that, he got injured and died. To destroy the evidence, the cop burned the whole place with the player's body in it, and then he went back to the police station and framed Una for killing the player and kidnapping the child. So the police were chasing her down. Anyway, Una didn't know what to do with the child, who kept following her around. She tried to get any information about his family to send him there, but there was none. So she called her boss to find a solution, and her boss gave her an address and told her to put him there, and they would take good care of him. She agreed because she wanted to get rid of that mission to avoid trouble. Then she got there and handed the kid to them, and even though the man looked creepy, she pretended to believe that the kid was in good hands and left. But her conscience dragged her back to that place to save the kid, who was trying to escape on his own. Then they went to a hotel to hide there. After that, the cop hired a hitman to find Una before the cops, and after taking the security key from her, they would get rid of her and the child. Anyway, the police kept tracing the cars she used until they reached the hotel she was staying in. Fortunately, Una knew she would be followed by them, and took precautions. She tricked them into the wrong room, then she ran away with the kid. But on her way out, she met the cop, and she was just about to get a screwdriver out. However, the cop pointed a gun towards her face and told her that he must kill the kid because he saw his face. So the kid attacked him quickly, and Una took the gun and both ran away safely. At that time, Una's case got more attention and was handled by an intelligence officer to investigate it. She found out that Una is a North Korean who lost her family while escaping to South Korea. But the officer didn't doubt Una at all and was suspicious that the cop was hiding something, so she kept an eye on him. At that time, the kid felt that he was a burden, so he told Una to take him to his mother. Of course, she was surprised since he said before he had no family, but it turned out the kid never really met her. He just called every woman on his father's phone until one of them cried when she heard the kid's voice. So he thought she was definitely his mom. Una definitely didn't believe that she took his words for real, but she had nothing to lose. So she went to meet his mother, hoping it's her, so she can say goodbye to this mission for good. And she found that she truly was the mother, but she didn't want anything related to the kid. So when Una figured out it was completely hopeless to convince her to take her child back, she went to the kid to tell him the truth. But she was attacked by the hitman hired by the cop. He and the cop found her place and kidnapped the kid, and the hitman was about to kill her. So Una attacked him with a screwdriver and took the kid and ran away. But the hitman was so mad and went after her. She let him follow her and fall right into her trap, and his car was smashed. And he was admitted to the hospital. But the cop killed him because he failed, and he started searching for Una himself. And the problem was that Una was so tired after that fight and fainted. So the kid tried to stop any car to ask for help, but no one cared until the kid stood in front of one car and convinced the driver to help him and leave the car to them. And in return, he gave her all the money that his father gave to him. Then Una woke up totally fine, but a little traumatized after she knew that all the money was gone on a useless car. Anyway, she decided to take the kid to her boss, and they agreed to send him outside of Korea. The kid was so sad that she wouldn't come with him, but they had a good time together. Then Una went to see the ship he was going to be on board. But at that time, the cop discovered where she works and took his men there. Then he tried to terrorize her boss to know where she was. But her boss was loyal and said nothing, since he was the one who saved her at the borders where her family died. At that time, one of his workers hid the kid, and the boss tricked them into believing that he would actually give them the security key. Instead, he shot them, but the cop got to him first and killed him. And they found the child. When Una arrived and saw her boss dead, she was enraged and told a friend of hers to take the child to a safe place. Then she turned off the lights and turned the place upside down. She fought them fiercely and gave them what they deserved. Then she ran away with the child, and the cop chased them until he crashed into her car and took the kid hostage to threaten her. And when she gave him nothing, he pushed the kid into the water. So Una stabbed him and took him with her into the water. She was able to save the child, but not herself. At that time, the officer arrived after she learned the truth about the cop, and that's because she found the player's watch and a conversation between him and the cop. So she came to arrest him, but she was too late and couldn't save Una. After some time, the kid was in a good orphanage, started to go to school again, and his life was better. Then one day while he was leaving school, he met Una. She was alive and well. She faked her death so as not to be caught by the police. She offered the kid a ride. He was so surprised and happy because he couldn't bear the fact that he lost her, and obviously she still works as a driver, and the kid took her as his role model for what he wants to be in the future.